I'm sure everyone in this class has been directed this derogatory term at least once in their life, had it used against another person, or at least heard it. Being a young female in today's society, I have experienced this verbal abuse, and no, I'm not the only one. Today we will be discussing slut-shaming culture and why we should stop participating in the slut-shaming trend. First, I will discuss what it is, how it affects young women, and its participation in rape culture. According to dehumane.org, slut-shaming is the judgment of objectifying and pass on the sexuality of women, often of teenage years, that her choice of revealing or tight apparel is indicative of consent, if not encouragement to sexual intimacy. Slut-shaming is calling a girl a slut because she is wearing tight yoga pants, a shirt that is too revealing, that shows abdomen, cleavage, or calling a girl a slut because she drinks beer or has tattoos. Pretty much it's what it sounds like, calling a girl a slut for not being ladylike. This is a form of bullying. At an early age, girls are taught to dread, fear, and avoid being referred to as sluts. This derogatory term slut not only condemns women as promiscuous, but also signals them out as lesser and trashier beings, diminishing their value towards society and severely damaging their self-esteem. Slut-shaming is often expressed by women themselves rather than men towards other women to degrade them and prove themselves of more value. A new study in social psychology quarter states that college women with a high social status actually use slut-shaming terms to their advantage, at times only to justify their own sexual behavior as classy, in contrast to the women who come in underprivileged homes, which they label negatively. Elizabeth Anglander, a psychology professor and director of Massachusetts Aggression Reduction Center at Bridgewater State University, in 2013, analyzed responses from 423 students, all 18 years old. They were all asked about the topic of slut-shaming. Over a quarter of the students, a higher percentage among the boys, said it was used to address a moral belief set by society on how wrong it is for girls to have sex, or worse, casual sex. 1/3 said it makes the person who is bullying and doing the labeling feel better. 21% of them said that the person doing the bullying is seeking status and rank from someone threatening towards the harassers. Social viewpoint, 17% said the person using the word slut or whore usually feels hurt or left behind by the popular crowd, hence the reason towards their slut-shaming participation. Having it be through the media or at their own schools or homes, sexuality, it can't be repressed. It is a form of identity. Slut-shaming culture comes hand in hand with bullying, leading towards abuse, traumatizing women into not being comfortable with their sexuality, therefore making them feel discouraged and sexually repressed. This often leads towards major self-esteem, identity issues, and lack of community between women. So, I spoke about what slut-shaming is, its effects on young women, and now we'll be discussing how it participates in rape culture. In 2011, after being gang raped and sexually bullied by her classmates, a Canadian teenager committed suicide. Her name is Rete Parson. Before her suicide, Rete was constantly bullied and had her rape exposed to the media. According to Huffington Post, the attacker that night took a photo of one of those boys, then 16, penetrating the girl from behind. These photos have already been taken down by their explicitity, but some not so revealing still circulate the web, and I was able to find one of those, which is this one. Rete's best friend, Jenna Campbell, told Daily Beast on April 27th, everyone assumed she was being a slut, that she wanted it. She was telling people I got raped, and they said she was a slut and decided not to believe her. Most recent case, Jada, a 16-year-old from Houston, told her rape story to Huffington Post in June 2014, just last year. That night, at a party, She had attended a party with a friend, thought it was just going to be some kids hanging out, but when she showed up, a teen boy spiked her drink and, well, pretty much, she didn't know she was raped until she found pictures of her circulating the web with her bottom part exposed. And it was a trending topic called Jada Pose all over Twitter. This was leaked into social media. It was trending. And the photos of her limping naked body was hashtag Jada Pose. People not only were supporting the attacker and the tag, but also slut-shamed her with vicious verbal attacks and ridicule. This is slut-shaming in its full ugly effect. Jada retaliated with her own trending topic, I am Jada, where she stood at all her attackers gaining momentum. As you see, not only boys participated in this, but also women. And this is her. She stood up to all her attackers and gained support, and was no longer seen as a passed out slut, but the rape victim she was. With that being said, in 2011, a court case, R versus Rhodes, a Canadian Judicial Council released a public statement on Motiva Judge Robert Devoir, where the complaints all arise from certain remarks made by the judge during Rhodes' matter in finding Rhodes guilty of sexual assault and in the subsequent sentencing portion of the trial. The judge said the sex was in the air that night, that the accused was a clumsy Don Juan. He said that the victim was dressed in a way that showed that she wanted to party, and that he just pretty much dismissed the case. The guy didn't serve jail time because of the woman's moral blameworthiness. Slut-shaming considers it acceptable to blame rape victims of sexual acts committed against them through their own sexuality. Rape victims are put to blame for their attacks and are put to question more than the attackers. In conclusion, I already mentioned what slut-shaming is, the effect it has in today's society, especially on young women, and how it advocates for rape culture. In conclusion, I will end my presentation with a small story I'd like to call My Little Black Dress. While attending my first frat party, I had my drink spiked. I didn't drink alcohol that night, yet I don't remember what happened. Luckily, I was around my friends when I felt the side effects and was taken home right after. After all that happened, I told them everything, and their response was that maybe I shouldn't have worn that little black dress. I left my drink unattended for 5 seconds. I couldn't help but feel that maybe I did encourage the situation by dressing the way I did. I felt at fault for being drugged and exposing myself to possibly being raped. These common bashing trends advocate abusers who tell us women that we can't express our sexuality and feel sexy because it gives room for rape or tragic events. That we are wrong for wanting to look and feel good because we tempt others. That we deserve abuse for being or looking like sluts, and that abusers act upon our actions, so it's our fault. With that, I hope you see the gravity of the situation and encourage you all to stop being part of this trend so women can live safer lives.